Bro, how does it feel?
Bro, I tell you, man, I'm delirious. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You know, I was fortunate enough to be there yesterday. My good buddy Kenny Scarabaggio gave me the ticket with him, and it was just look, it's the best win they've had in a long time, probably since they beat the Patriots back in 2015. I would say that's the last time. But this was a statement game yesterday. You know, the Jets yesterday told you that they have arrived and that they are a legitimate team for the playoffs. I don't think there's any doubt. And the defense, you know, DJ Reed in his comments before the season started about the 85 Bears. Look, I don't want to talk about – they're not the 85 Bears, but this defense is getting better and better. And the defense is doing, as you know, Ev, what the great defenses have to do. You got to get after the quarterback, you got to hit the quarterback, and you got to take the ball away. And that's what the Jets are doing. 9 turnovers in the last 3 games. You watch the play of guy. Well, first of all, Quincy Williams might be the best. He might be the defensive player of the year the way he's playing. I mean, he's been unbelievable. Awesome. He's been phenomenal. Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff. These guys are really coming on now on the defensive line. What we saw yesterday from the banged-up secondary, no Sauce, no DJ Reed. These guys were outstanding. You know, Tony Adams coming up with the big pick at the end of the game, the biggest play of the game. Bryce Huff with another turnover for him with an interception. We could go on and on. I mean, the defense right now is playing great. The offense, look, here's the good news for the offense. They're not turning the ball over. And to me, that's the big key for Zach Wilson right now. He took some bad sacks, I thought, yesterday. I didn't think he was phenomenal, but, you know, he did enough to win the game. Look, they got hosed on the one. They always get hosed by the officials. We know that. They got hosed on the one call with Lazard. Give me a break. Oh. The guy was turned this way looking at him.
Brutal.
And out of nowhere, this new rule, at the very least, I thought it was offsetting penalties, right? Because it was the offside play and all, and Zach, they had a free play. And then we find out that all of a sudden, this personal foul supersedes any other penalty. What?
It killed the drive because they're in field goal range right
and
there.
And I thought they were going to – I tell you, I thought that was going to turn out to be the biggest play of the game.
No doubt.
I really did. I really did. But
to what you said about the 85 Bears, look, they're not the 85 Bears,
no,
but I'll tell you this, in the second half of games against elite-level offenses, they are the 85 Bears. The way they played in the second half against Buffalo, the way they played the second half against Kansas City, getting hosed by the officials, and shutting out the great Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. They've played like the 85 Bears in the second half.
Well, bro, they've given up 1 touchdown all year in the second half, and that was in Denver last week.
That's it.
And if it wasn't for that horrific roughing the passer on Bryce Huff, by the way, another ridiculous roughing the passer, and early in the game, it was on Quinnen Williams this time, and earlier in the game, there was another one where it looked like Zach got hit in the face. So, I mean, but they didn't call it. Why would they ever do that? But they've given up 1 touchdown in the second half. Like I said, that was to Denver last week. This defense is – look, I don't know if they're the best defense in the league, but right now they're playing like it. I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, well, it's not statistically because they're not statistically the best. They're not even close to the best defense, but they make plays.
That stats lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I hate statistics. So you got to watch this team play.
Yep.
And you talk about Quinnen, you talk about, the names there. They're all there. Sauce and DJ Reed were out. But I made this point to Evan to start the show, Joe. Look, this defense is well coached. And I remember asking Robert Saleh this last week about the traveling of Sauce and why they don't do it. It's like because we're going to do what we do. We play a lot of zone, and all of these guys, starters, backups, they're going to know exactly what they're supposed to do on every single situation. That's why they don't bust. That's why at the end of games they're not, he's down at the line of scrimmage when he should be in the quarter, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden there's a big play. They don't give up big plays because they're so well coached. Well,
let me tell you 2 things. Number one, this was a big game for Robert Saleh. I mean, this was the biggest win he's had so far. Like I said, this was a statement game. To me, they really turned the corner. There's no doubt about it. My one knock on the defense, they continue to give up touchdowns every opening drive by the opposition. I believe it's 4 of the 6 games that they've done that. I don't remember if they did it against Buffalo. They didn't do it against New England. Everybody else they have. So that's the one area they got to clean up. And who knows? I mean, let me ask you guys. Was that it? Because I'm sitting on the other end of the stadium. Was that a touchdown with Jalen Hurts on the opening drive?
No. Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Tell me.
This drove me nuts, and I guess you're lucky to be there because on TV we got fooled.
Right.
So they ruled.
We got fooled too, and we thought they'd stop them.
Yeah, but you know they're reviewing it. They never even told us they were looking at it.
Right.
Jalen Hurts fumbles. Obviously, the ball can't then be advanced for a touchdown. So Jalen loses the ball. Once it's ruled that on the field, to me, there was not enough evidence to overturn it. And if you're watching at home, we went to commercial break thinking, oh, my God, what a stop.
Yes.
All right, we're on from our own 1 yard line. All right, let's just not turn the ball over. Let's not let this get ugly. And then all of a sudden, we come back from commercial, and Kevin Kugler's telling us it's 7-0.
Yeah, no, I know. The Eagles were celebrating while you were still in commercial. We're looking at the Eagles like dancing on the sideline. What are you doing?
Tell me if I'm wrong, Tiki. If you call that on the field not a touchdown, there was not enough evidence to overturn it, and vice versa. If they had initially called it a touchdown, fine, whatever. There was not enough evidence to overturn it.
What's challenged here is forward progress, right? Because if the ball is out and he fumbles, but before that he had stopped his progress and he was reaching, what came first? The stopping of the forward progress or the reaching, which obviously meant the touchdown, and the fumble? Like, which one came first?
I thought the fumble.
I would agree. Or the stopping of the – there's three things that happen here. He either – forward progress is stopped, he reaches and scores, or he reaches and fumbles. Two of the three say you can't overturn the call on the field. Somehow they found a way to overturn the call on the field, and we didn't really get an explanation for it on TV, on the TV side.
Yeah. Look, I mean, outside of that, though, I mean, the fact, like I said, they're giving up these touchdowns on the opening drives. I mean, the defense has been terrific. And look, the offense, they're having all kinds of trouble scoring in the red zone. We know that. But how about this? Let's give some credit to these two guys, the kickers. Greg Zuerlein has made 9 consecutive field goals. He made 5 in Denver. He made 4 this week. And I know they're not, 56-yard field goals, every one of them, but he's still got to make them. And he's been making them, and the punter is tremendous. Thomas Morstead, I mean, he's given them field position all the time, and the coverage has been very good. This is probably the best kicking game. Zuerlein's the best kicker we had, Ev, since Nick Folk.
Yes.
He won us a lot of games, Nick Folk, in the Rex era. But the combination of these two guys, man, are really good. Really good.
And they need it because if they're going to play games the way they play, they need their specials to be locked on. And so you got an excellent punter, you got a kicker who hasn't missed, and then you got a guy like Irving Charles, who sounds like a penis, but he's like an excellent special teams demon. And they make plays on specials. So Philadelphia, even though they went 91 yards, has to start from their own 9-yard line. And that's routine. And that's the thing. They got to do this all year because I'm not convinced this offense is ever going to figure it out. This is the formula to winning games.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about the offense. Because we see better play calling by Hackett. This particular sequence made me nuts. They get the big turnover early with Quinnen Williams, the interception. It's 7-3. They're set up on the Eagle 45-yard line. This begs for them to take a shot into the end zone, to throw the ball deep to Garrett Wilson here. You just got a big turnover. You got great field position. Nah, I can't do that. They got to pitch it to Breece Hall, who loses 3 yards. They wind up going 3 and out. And I think the Eagles came down and scored off of that.
They did.
Not, right? Did they not?
Yep.
I thought that was a horrific play call by Hackett. I mean, come on. Throw the ball down the field. And they still don't let the kid throw the ball down the field enough. He had that one pass from the 5-yard line where he threw it down the sideline to Garrett Wilson for about, 35, 40 yards, whatever it was. Outside of that, we really didn't see that.
Yeah, to me, the bigger issue, though, Joe, is the red zone opportunities.
Sure,
they've been in the red zone. How many times? 10? I mean,
they don't put it in there.
Forget the last one because the Eagles let them score.
Right,
but
right.
I mean, they're over the last 9 or so red zone trips.
Yeah,
they're getting field goals, which is right. You're right about the field goal kicking has been exceptional because you're getting points on the board. But if you score touchdowns there, I mean, Denver, you blow them out.
Yeah.
Right? This week, the Eagles are chasing. If you're just scoring touchdowns in the red zone, that's what it comes down to.
No question. No, you're right about that. Look, they've had all kinds of problems in the red zone, and it's your margin for error is very, very thin when you're looking for field goals or for your defense to score touchdowns or set up touchdowns for you.
No doubt.
Yeah, that there's no question about. So.
How do you feel right now about this quarterback? He's not turning the ball over, which is the biggest positive. There has been some progress, but you got to score points.
Take it. Take it as you can.
Yeah, no, I'm with Tiki. You got to take it. I still don't think they let him do enough, Ev. I still don't. I think you got to take more chances, get him rolling out a little more. I'd like to see more. They had that one bootleg where, was it Hassan Reddick basically assaulted him?
Yes.
But then he came back
and
with
responded.
a similar play and made that little flip to Conklin for a first down.
Yes.
So that kind of showed you something. So, but he's got such a good arm. We got Garrett Wilson. He's an all-world wide receiver. Can we take some shots down the damn field? It really makes me upset. It does.
Yeah, I think the next step for him is understanding protections. And what I mean by that, there was a play. They were down 14-3. They kick a field goal on this drive, but they're in the red zone again. It's first down. He throws the weak pass to Garrett Wilson in the left side. Right? It was man coverage, but it was a zone dog. So there was pressure coming. So he's away from the pressure just because he knows he's got to get rid of the football. But what he's not realizing is that it's picked up. Right? He has time, and C.J. Uzomah comes wide ass open in the back of the going up the seam into the end zone. And if he just waits and stays where the pressure's coming from as opposed to going away from it, it's an easy touchdown. But that's going to come with experience, right? It takes time to realize where I'm protected and where I have urgency. And that's why you say you take it, right? You just accept it and realize that these are moments that he's going to look at, and Hack's going to go over this. Look, hey, kid, when you see this, just wait on it. Just wait a second. Instead of throwing a 50-50 ball to Garrett Wilson, throw the wide-open touchdown to your tight end who's on a linebacker.
Were you guys surprised? I was very surprised the Eagles threw a pass on that third down where Hurts got intercepted by Adams. I got to tell you, they're up by 2. I thought, run the ball there. Do you really? And I know they only needed a field goal to win, but are you really that concerned about Wilson driving them, to get into field goal range?
Yes.
I was thrilled Hurts threw the ball there. I mean, really, I couldn't believe it. I got to tell you. You guys think?
I was stunned too. I really did, because I thought that, like you said, they would, and Nick Sirianni would almost have the confidence of Zach Wilson's not driving the field.
Right.
And instead, they let him make a play, and he threw it right to the open Tony Adams. I mean, Tony was sitting right there. By the way, did you and Tiki and I haven't even talked about this. We'll get into it in more detail later, but I'm curious your opinion on it. Did you not want Breece Hall to score on that touchdown run?
Initially I didn't, but then I was talking to Kenny about it. It was really the right play when you think about it, because it put them up by where they needed a touchdown to win the game. They got the 2-point conversion as well. And you know what? And maybe, years ago we'd look at it the other way, Ev, but you know what? Right now I got confidence that this defense, the way they're playing, if I got a 6-point lead, and I don't know what the timeout situation was for the Eagles at that point. I think they might have still had – I don't think
they had 2.
They had 2 left.
Yep.
I was confident the defense was stopping them. So give me that touchdown. Otherwise you're talking about even if they play the clock as good as you possibly can play.
You're giving them time.
You're giving them time, and they only need a field goal to win the game.
Right.
So I really had no problem with that. And you could really criticize Sirianni for letting him score there, really.
Yeah. Look, to me, it was all about the Jets' defense had been doing its job.
Right.
So
that's it.
It didn't matter what happened. To me, it didn't matter. Once they were in that field goal score position moment, it felt like it doesn't matter. The Jets are going to win this game.
Yeah. How many Eagle fans were there? Were there a lot of Eagle fans?
Can I tell you this? Let me tell you something, okay? You talk about obnoxious, okay? Like these guys, I mean, cocky, obnoxious. They, complaining. And I'm telling these guys, I'm saying, look, first of all, you guys are 5-1 now, okay? You went to the Super Bowl last year. You won the Super Bowl, what was it, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was now. I guess it was 2017, right, when you beat the Patriots. What's your beef? You're one of the best teams in football. We got you today. We owed you one, man. And I think the Eagles took us a little lightly. I said this, to a couple people before the game, that I thought the Eagles would come in a little overconfident. They're a very cocky team. Sirianni is extremely cocky. I love sticking it to him. And but they're fans. I mean, I'm telling you, in the parking lot, I mean, just what an obnoxious group they are.
And the problem is they travel. Like
they're right up the turnpike.
You're right. It's easy, but they travel everywhere. Like they go.
What do you think the breakdown was of Jet fans and Eagle fans yesterday?
There was a lot of Eagle fans. It's tough to tell because everybody's wearing green. When I was at the Chief game, there was a lot of red in the stands, so you could see it a little better. It was a little more difficult. I actually was sitting next to an Eagle fan who actually was a pretty good guy. He was okay. Even on the Lazard penalty, he kind of, he looked at me. He said, I think you got a bad call there. So I don't think any other Eagle fan was going to tell me that.
Eagle.
I can tell you.
The funny thing about the Eagles is next week I'm a huge Eagle fan.
Oh, of course. They play Miami. Let's go.
Yeah, they play Buffalo.
Let's go. Jalen Hurts. Let's go, baby.
I mean, there are games in which I'm a huge Eagle guy. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Exactly right. We'll be singing the song. Let's go. 100%. 100%.
We're talking to Joe Benigno. So we have a bye now, so 2 weeks to kind of enjoy this.
Right.
Hopefully Sauce and DJ are healthy for the Giant game, but clearly, and no disrespect to the Giants, but the reality is the schedule now softens when you look at who they're about to face.
No question.
Where's your confidence level in this team?
I'm confident. I feel real good. I think they're getting better. I really do. And I think the coach is getting better. I'm seeing, Tiki talked about the coaching. I think the coach is now starting to grow with the team, especially the defensive side of the football. I really do. I think this defense is top notch. Let's hope. Look, we got to stay healthy. I mean, we've already lost Vera-Tucker, So I mean, that's a
Joe
big hit.
Tippmann. That injury looks bad too.
Yeah.
Tippmann's out for a little while, so I know that too. The coach, he actually told me that when I texted him last night. Tippmann's out for a little while. Garrett Wilson is okay because he kind of limped off a little bit. I was a little worried about him. I think he went to the tent, but look, I'm confident, bro. I don't see why this team can't make the playoffs. I really do. I mean, the way they're playing right now, and I think, like I said, they're only getting better. I want to see Brees get the ball more. I know the Eagles are, the number one team against the run.
Yeah.
But can we get Brees the ball out of the backfield a little more?
Yeah, well,
too?
he caught a couple passes.
He did.
Including,
That one shovel pass.
Yeah, the one shovel. The other one, he went down the sideline. I mean, they're going to get him his touches. Just a matter of whether or not they're going to hand it off to him 25 times a game.
Well, one adjustment that Hackett made, even though it didn't happen on that possession you're talking about where he lost 3 yards right out the gate off a turnover, they were throwing a lot more on first down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which they should.
Yes.
That's what they should do, bro. You have to, especially they're stacking the box to stop Brees. I mean, look, if there was any secret about Brees Hall, it's long out now. I mean, so they're these guys are stacking the box to stop him. You got to throw on first down. I'm 100%.
So
I'm down with that all the way.
Robert Saleh made a comment. I'm not sure if you heard it. I love it personally. There are a few people, we've taken a few calls from them today, who don't like it. They thought it was arrogant. And that's when Robert Saleh said that the Jet defense embarrassed Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. He said we embarrassed them. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, a lot of these coaches are cocky. Okay, I talked about Sirianni, the other guy in Buffalo. I can't stand McDermott. These guys. So I don't have any problem with my coach being a little cocky. Now, I don't know if I'd go with the word embarrassed. I mean, we did lose to the Chiefs. I mean, I don't want. We didn't win that game. I mean, it was no help from the officials, but we didn't win the game. But look, if that's how he wants to be, and he feels that confident, you know what, bro? Why not? I got really no issue with it whatsoever.
Well, as long as he's not saying something that he's not saying to his team. I promise you he said the exact same thing to his team.
Yep.
And so they got his back. They believe that he has their back. So I wouldn't worry about it. The only person you got to worry about is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen's
again.
But also I don't think Josh Allen is playing good enough football.
No.
At least not consistent enough football. He looked great obviously against Miami, but he really hasn't been great this season. So I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, it's just, what's he going to do?
They're a bully team, too.
Seriously.
They're another bully team, the Bills.
I mean,
watching that game last night.
No doubt.
I mean, the Giants should have won this game. I mean,
all the fights, all the chippy stuff, all the nonsense, the BS, of course.
Well, what about tell me if you think I'm nuts. Let's go to the last play of the game. Look, was it pass interference on Waller in the last play?
Yeah.
It was, but they weren't giving him another one. They gave him the one
Why
right
not,
before.
though? You're right, but why the hell not? If it was clearly
You know why? Because
PI.
they're not the Chiefs.
Because
Okay.
And Joe, it's funny you say that.
That's true.
But you're right. And this is why you jokingly say this all the time about Zach. Oh, they hit Zach in the head, but they're not going to give it to
Right.
It's almost like you got to earn it. I swear.
It's true.
And I feel like that's how the Giants get treated.
Yeah. They got the one before it, and
it was obvious. I mean, it was held wide in the middle of the field in the end zone. Of course, they got to give him that one.
The last play was pretty obvious too, as far as I'm concerned.
True.
But tell me, if Teak, look, you're a running back. I would have gave the ball. 2 plays I would have done. Give the ball to Barkley. Okay, give him to my best player. He had a terrific game. Give it to my best player. Or get Tyrod Taylor out of the pocket.
That was my suggestion, Joe.
That's it.
That was my suggestion.
Those are the plays, Teak.
I also love the symmetry of Saquon got stuffed on the dumb decision to run at the end of the first half. Let's put the ball back in his hands where he's got a chance to win it now.
Where he's got with a chip on his shoulder to stick it in the end zone.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bad play call.
My only issue, Joe, and God, it's really every issue with the offense. They pass block actually better with Justin Pugh at left tackle, but some of the run blocking was miscommunicating. It was weird. Like, usually when things need to be simplified, just turn around and hand it off. Block the 2 guys in front of you, get 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Maybe Saquon pops one, which happened in the second half. He popped a couple. But there were some plays where there was just unblocked people. And it's not like it was second level, third level guys coming down into the box creating weird numbers. You're just not blocking the guy right in front of them. So I get the run situation. You run, but man, I don't know if I trust that as much as getting the quarterback out of the pocket.
Yeah. Well, those were the 2 plays to me. Going back to Waller again, it was risky. And but look, I mean, they should have won the game. They didn't win the game. And Buffalo is they're a bully team. There's no doubt about it. They're just like Philadelphia in my mind in a lot of ways.
Yeah. No, and the difference is, unlike with the Jets, who held it tight with the Kansas City Chiefs, and it felt like a moral victory, this one didn't feel like a moral victory for the Giants. You know what I mean? What do you take away from it? Because you didn't play great, but you still had a chance to win.
I think that the biggest takeaway is the defense finally looked competent. It was the first time where, you say to yourself, all right, this defense has potential. Karake played like a star.
A lot of it was Wink being smarter. Just don't sell out. You don't have the horses behind you to sell out. Just play man, but don't sell out.
What about going for that 4th and 1 where they kick the field goal to take a 9-7 lead? I mean, were you thinking about going? I mean, come on, if you're going to win this game, you probably got to put the ball in the end zone. What'd you think of that call?
But the only thing, Joe, for me, is this team is struggling to score points.
Yeah.
You just get them when you can, and especially when your defense is playing like this, just get points when you can.
Yeah.
That's why the half screw up was such a big deal.
Yeah, it was a killer.
Right? Even if you just get 3 points there, it's a 2-possession game.
We have 13 days. Obviously, the Giants have a game against Washington, but they better beat the freaking Giants.
Oh, yeah. No, they better beat the Giants. I mean, there's no you don't have to. We'll leave it at that.
Joe,
and let me tell you,
Joe, I know you and Evan
I'm
are
sweating
both.
bullets already.
Tiki,
I got 2 weeks.
You're both nervous as hell.
No, let me tell you, Tiki, I'm begging the Giants beat Washington this week. Let me tell you, I don't want to play the Giants at 1-6. I can tell you that right now. And I've told the coach this too. Coach, you can't lose to the Giants, Coach.
He knows. I don't know what
I got to tell you right now.
I don't know what the spread's going to be in this game, but I fully expect that this is. The Jets will be?
For the first time.
Yeah,
it'll be the first time. The Jets have not been favored in any game this year.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time all year the Jets are favored.
The Giants have only been favored in the Arizona game. So think about it. There's been 12 games the Giants and Jets have played. They've been dogs in 11 of them.
Right.
But I fully expect we will be hiding under the seat at the end of this game. This will be a close, low-scoring, slog.
I agree. It's going to be a painful – look, they're all painful. Yesterday was pretty damn painful, too, for most of the time. But, it's worth it at the end when you win that game like that. But
no question.
Yeah, believe me. You know what, bro? I don't even want to think about the Giants right now. I want to sit. I want to relax. We don't play next week. I want to watch that Miami Eagle game. Like I said, let's go Eagles. The Bills are playing the Patriots. So, I doubt they're going to lose. New England, what a disaster New England is. How did we ever lose to them?
Dude, that's the game that's going to haunt me. I mean, it shouldn't if the Jets can overcome it. But losing that, imagine being 4-2 right now.
No, they should be.
They should be.
That was. Let me tell you something right now. That was the one game where the coaches did not coach well in that game. I thought they coached scared in that game a little bit. They wouldn't let Zach do anything. They didn't go after Mac Jones enough. Really, that's the one. That's a tough one.
In the past,
that's a tough one. That really sticks in my craw, like you said. You could say the Eagle game cancels it out, but it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I know in the past when a guy gets hurt, the attitude is, let's just forget the guy's on the team. Let's just forget he exists because he's not coming back. Aaron Rodgers is not even limping. He's throwing the ball before games. Is it entered your mind that Aaron Rodgers may actually pull this off and come back?
You know what? It'll enter my mind when he's out there. Right now I still look at him that, he's not – well, he is part of the team because I think he's helping Zach. I mean, he did have the headset on yesterday, and that's what you want to see. I mean, I want to see him be another coach out there for to help Zach. When he's ready, I'll be ready. Until then, Zach Wilson's the quarterback, and I'm approaching every game that way. What are you going to do?
Good job, Joe. Don't start talking Aaron Rodgers.
No.
By the way, did you see him?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Were you there? Were you there early enough to see him throwing the ball around?
We were actually in the parking lot. Actually, yesterday we were tailgating with Fireman Ed. Fireman Ed now pretty tight now. We're actually playing golf. You know what? We're actually playing golf Thursday. Thursday we're playing golf. Me, Terry, Eddie, and my buddy Kenny, the great Kenny Sciarabaggio, who loves when I mention his name.
Nice.
I thought he was going to beat up a couple of Eagle fans last night. Thank God he didn't. But nevertheless, So by the time I got in there, I really, we know what I was doing? I got in about an hour before the game. I was actually watching the other games on the big screen. I was watching the 49er game.
Got it.
And I'm telling Kenny, I said, Kenny, this is a great omen, man. The Niners are going down. No Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And maybe this bodes well for us with the Eagles being undefeated, and it turned out that way.
You didn't have to deal with this. We're going to talk about this coming up, but sitting at home, they decided at Fox, the Brainiacs at Fox, to split the bleeping screen between
my wife
the
told
Jets.
Me that. Terry told me that. Yes.
What a disgrace.
Yes.
If I want to see the Niner game, trust me, we can all find a way to watch it.
Right.
I want to watch my football team. So Fox,
how long did that go on for, Ev?
The entire first – now, I know the first Jet drive wasn't very long, but the first drive, and then I think right at the beginning of the Eagle drive.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
By the way, who did the game? I know Sanchez did it. Who was the play-by-play guy?
What's his
Kevin Kugler.
Kevin Kugler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Write that down. He got us a victory.
Yes. He's undefeated so far.
There you go.
Sanchez too. I don't think Sanchez has ever done another Jet game, has he?
I don't know. I got to think about that. Maybe he hasn't.
Yeah.
Joe, great talking to you, man. Great victory.
Hey, enjoy it, guys.
We'll
talk to you.
Talk to you,
in
man.
a couple weeks. All
you
right.
Got it.
Be good.
The great Joe Benigno off a dramatic victory against the Eagles.